Hi and welcome. My name is Helmut Whitaker from Katase, and last year we shared a piece by Kay on the blog titled "What Made Us and Our World Sick is What We Have Been Believing, Thinking and Feeling." Today we are sharing a video with you which Kay created for the Secret Codes of Healing course, which shows what Kay shared in her piece and describes with at times graphic and often beautiful images how our beliefs, thoughts and feelings created the problems we are living with today. Kay also shares in the video in a most unexpected way the hope that we are more than capable of making the changes needed to bring healing to ourselves and the world. Because this is one of the many study videos from the Secret Codes of Healing course, you will see references to the course in the video. But don't worry, those passages are very short and only show up in the beginning and at the end of the video. We've cut everything else which was important to the studies but wouldn't make much sense to non-students. We hope you'll enjoy the presentation as much as we enjoyed creating it.
Welcome to Session 3, Part 1 of your Red Door course, Secret Codes of Healing. We're very excited to be able to bring you this next step in the teachings of radionics, especially the incredible diversity of the Red Door instrument. Enjoy. In Session 3, we're going to take a closer look at the sequence of causes that create the disorders we will be finding in our subjects while we take our first steps in creating and broadcasting a healing program. It is said that the universe can't exist without thought. According to the Hedekas and the ancient Egyptians, our galaxy and our solar system were formed by the spirits of the galaxies and the stars and the nebulas and the planets. These are massive creator spirits, or as some say, maker spirits, working with the endless galactic fields of unconditional love, the cosmic blueprints of things to come, and with energies in their fields, and the three-dimensional particles of gas, dust, and rock. The Spirit's thoughts were clear, straight, unclouded, focused on all the beauty that was there and what they were building, and their love for the new creation. Their thoughts moved through space with the unconditional love, stirring and charging the energies in the matter. They stimulated the unconditional love with sounds from their voices and colors from their thoughts to form a reality out of the blueprints. The space in our solar system and everything in it was saturated with this dense field of unconditional love. In time, the sun matured, the planets matured, all surrounded by magnificent harmonies and palpable love. People who understood visited. One day, some new people came from far away to our planet, and they were full of many, many ideas and beliefs and thoughts. They were not focused or tuned in with the nature of this place. Their internal and external dialogues created thought forms that were not in harmony with the surroundings, and their thought forms began to saturate areas on the planet. These new people had a great deal to do with our human presence and development on Earth, and they taught many of us their perspective about what to believe and think and feel. Like all beings, as we think, we send our thought energies out into the world. So now, through all this time, we have literally crowded our world with our thought forms. They cover our planet and saturate everything. Many of these thought forms are not in harmony with the original energies. They are literally crowding out the original energies, drowning out the unconditional love. So many of us don't even really know what unconditional love is. We know only love shared with conditions and expectations because that's what's in our thought forms and our beliefs. So, you say, if everything creates thought forms, what else can we expect except that they would be covering our planet? And that's true. But the difference is in the content of the thought forms. The content flavors everything. It radiates out, it influences things, it changes things. The content is the secret hiding in plain sight. The content is what can make a healthy place or a war-mangled place or a sick place. The content is what makes a balanced person or an angry person or a cancerous person. Look at the content of our thought forms today. They are the same as our beliefs, our blindly collected, dogmatically held, usually dysfunctional, and even conflicting beliefs. This is not to say that people don't think some beautiful things. They do. But what else gets thought? What else is believed? What we think all day, what we feel, every decision and action we make stems out of our hodgepodge of beliefs. If we believe in judgment and entitlement, then our observations, assessments, and actions will be formed around judging what we observe and feeling entitled to whatever we want, no matter what the cost might be to another. We'll even pretend we don't notice there is a cost to another. What we believe creates our priorities in our lives. If we believe the wildlands and the animals and the soils are less important than we are, we will prioritize ourselves and our perceived needs above their existence. If we believe it doesn't matter what kind of synthetic materials we put in or on our bodies, then we will choose to ingest them, no matter what kind of exposing evidence comes our way. We've been trained to be addicted to our beliefs and to follow them without question. And as a consequence, we live by those beliefs. They become the design structure, the framework for our thinking processes. We are pretending our addictions are a good and necessary foundation for our lives. We've all heard the saying, we create our own reality. It is the content of those beliefs which become the content of our thoughts and feelings, and then the content of our actions that determine the quality of our world, our lives, and our health. Right now, this very minute, our planet is covered with a startling majority of thought forms full of greed, entitlement, judgment, lying, suspicion, anger, violence, destruction, addiction, better than, less than, revenge, hatred, war, apathy. Need I go on? Every thought form radiates out. It broadcasts its content out into the world, and it influences people to join in the content, to think the same content, to feel the same content. As we join in, we are feeding the thought forms. We are causing them to grow larger and live longer and influence even more. We need to stop feeding the destructive thought forms. This has to stop. We as a culture and we as a species must change this. Nobody can do this for us. It's our problem. We as individuals must change what is inside us and take action to clear the planet of this psychic refuse. We need to change the beliefs and attitudes that drive us to destroy perfect food-growing land for some short-term gain of a few, or to develop technologies that destroy more than they help. There is a popular New Age belief that some sweet alien people are going to come and fix it all for us, make it all better. Well, there's a curious blind belief for you, not wanting to or willing to take responsibility for our own actions and problems. Why would those aliens want to rescue us from ourselves? They want us to notice the effects we have on everything around us. They want us to understand what we have been doing and learn how to fix it for ourselves. They want us to grow up. They want us to be their peers. They don't want to be our keepers, watching after us all the time like we're a bunch of mentally challenged pets. In 1988, the Koji tribe of Northern Colombia allowed a BBC journalist, Elaine Herrera, to film a documentary about their culture. I'm sure many of you remember this historic film. The Koji say the world can't exist without thought, that we literally are destroying our world with what we are thinking. The Egyptians said, we are creating what we believe and what we think and feel. It is in their oral traditions that the world declined because of what we started to believe, the ideas we held, the thoughts we allowed ourselves to entertain. The Katasi tradition says we have a human culture based on backwards turning energy because of what we chose to believe and consequently think, feel, and take action on. They say a culture based on a backwards turning energy takes things apart. It tears everything apart as it turns. Have you ever wondered why the ETs don't come down and hang out with us? You know, just chat around the kitchen table like good old neighbors? After all, they have been our neighbors for a really long time. I had a chance meeting with a remarkable fellow. It was a surprise to both of us. If he were dressed up right with some sunglasses, he could walk down any street and not be noticed at all. That's right. He wasn't from around here. He was taking care of some tactical business on the surface of our planet, with his spaceship hovering just above. On that day, and for the previous several years, I had been learning and doing Egyptian mind-focusing ceremonies, and they were very fresh on my mind. He was working on his equipment in the yard and ignoring me, but I kept talking to him anyway. When he was finished tinkering, he walked up to me. He did not make sounds. He greeted me by opening and sharing his mind with me. His people's experience of Earth humans was, well, as he put it, psychically humans are noisy in a putrid kind of way, clashing and chaotic, uncomfortable to be around. And he was hoping not to run into any of us. This thought did not have judgment or belittling in it. There was no arrogance. It was just a matter of fact. And this was not words. This was sharing his personal experience. I experienced this offensive psychic noise. Inside his mind was a meeting place, and I could see other areas of thought and deep feeling and memories. I had never even dreamt that such focus and clarity was possible. I was a curiosity to him because my mind was clear, calm, and focused compared to what he had observed in other Earth humans. I asked him about his work and the astronomical pictures that I could see in another area of his mind. He was, for lack of a better word, an astrophysicist, and his ship was a science vessel. And they're here to observe and study our solar system. Everything was shared in pictures, experience, feelings, and memories. He showed me nebulas, star systems, planets, galaxies, places he'd been, places he'd studied. They understood the unconditional love that floods our galaxy. They live with it. They feel it. They study with it. They share with it. Many volumes of information were shared in just minutes. I could see how he shared information and questions with his peers, a group of them all contributing together at once in the same picture. They were peaceful, happy, passionate about their work, caring of each other, open with each other, wielding a level of mental discipline that I could barely imagine. They had no extraneous thoughts, no interruptions from bursting mental babble. Their thoughts were clear, purposeful, and exact. I learned more about human thought from this fellow than from any other study or source. I'm not saying that we have to turn into my visitor friend, but we can certainly learn a lot from him and his people. We need to grow up and take responsibility for what and how we think. We need to acknowledge the impact that our beliefs and thoughts and feelings have. We need to question what we've been believing. And it all comes down to this: changing what we think, what we believe, letting in the unconditional love, and caring, disciplining ourselves in how we think, developing purposeful focus. Because what we were thinking in days past and right now, today, is making us sick, and it's making our world sick. What I learned in my friend's mind is a knowingness that we can make these changes. He believed in us and our ability and our tenacity. He had no doubts whatsoever that we can make room for the waves of unconditional love coming back into our world, and that we can be healthy and clear and purposeful, and most assuredly, brilliant. Congratulations! You've just completed part 1 of session 3 from the Secret Codes of Healing course. Please follow any instructions presented in part 1. When you are ready, continue your studies with a video for part 2.